Why do millennials spend less but remember more, while Gen Z spends more but regrets faster? And who actually shells out the bigger bucks on holidays in India? Hello viewers, I'm Kavya Khandelwal and you're watching The Edge. Today we are breaking down a fascinating travel report from booking.com that compares how millennials and Gen Z in India spend on holidays. On one side, you got millennials, the experience hunters who wait every rupees before booking. On the other side, you have got Gen Z, the YOLO, that is, the you only live once generation that would happily burn cash for their thrill and novelty. Surprisingly, the data doesn't tell the story you would expect. Stick around because the numbers might just surprise you. Travel has stopped being just a checklist of places for both millennials who were born from 1981 to 1996 and for Gen Z who were born from 1997 to 2012. Travel is like a personality test. It shows who you are, what you value, and how you want to be remembered. But let's picture this. A millennial planning a trip to Bali will spend nights comparing flight prices, reading reviews, and hunting for a boutique stay. That's Instagram worthy yet affordable. They'll splurge on that one scuba dive or that one Michelin star meal, but only because it's going to be a memory that lasts. Now, for Gen Z, they'll see a cheap flight notification, book it on impulse, and figure out the rest later. They care less about value for money and more about, is it fun right now? Adventure, food, novelty, that's their checklist. But which generation is actually paying more? That's where the data flips the story. See, both groups love travel, but their wallets tell different stories. Millennials think like accountants, balancing passion with practicality. Gen Z behaves more like thrill seekers at a carnival. Swipe, book, pack, and go. And here's the tricky part. This generational tug of war is shaping India's travel market. Hotels, airlines, and apps are literally rewriting their strategies based on how these two groups think. The question is, who is driving the bigger boom? Number one, willingness to pay for others. Both generations are surprisingly generous. 89% of millennials and 88% of Gen Z are willing to pay for their loved ones to travel with them. Covering friends' trips, Gen Z tops here, 83% versus millennials at 75%. Parents paying for family trips, Gen Z parents go big at 92%, while millennial parents are at 84%. So, while both like shared joy, Gen Z leans a little more toward footing the bill for friends and family. Number two, splurging or budgeting. Here's where the gap widens. Planning to spend more this year, Gen Z smashes it with 89% compared to millennials at just 42%. Willing to splurge on unforgettable trips? Surprisingly, millennials lead at 65% versus Gen Z at 57%. Travel is a budgeting priority. Millennials win with 88%. Gen Z is slightly behind at 82%. Short trips versus long trips. Millennials love frequent short trips, that is 77%. Gen Z prefers that slightly less at 70%. Translation: Gen Z spends more often, but millennials spend more smartly. Number three, travel motivations. Both groups are discovering the beauty of solo trips. Solo recharge trips, Gen Z at 68%, millennials at 65%, but their reasons differ. Gen Z chases adventure, which is at 46%, and food at 45%. Millennials lead towards cuisines, that is 50%, culture 48%, and adventure, it's also 48%. It's like Gen Z asks, will it be fun today? While millennials ask, will I still smile about this 10 years later? Number four, destination priorities. When it comes to choosing where to go, safety, millennials at 72%, Gen Z at 66%. Then comes value for money, millennials 66%, but Gen Z 61%. Good weather, which is very important, millennials at 64% and Gen Z at 61%. Millennials clearly overthinks logistics a bit more, and honestly, who can blame them? No one wants their Goa trip ruined by monsoon rains. Now, here's the kicker. If you only looked at raw spending, you would think Gen Z is India's biggest travel spender. But the truth is, millennials splurge more strategically. They'll budget for months, then drop big money on that one perfect experience. That scuba dive in the Maldives, that hot air balloon in Cappadocia, that's a millennial move. Gen Z may spend more often, but it's scattered, impulsive flights, trendy cafes, and random adventures. Their money flows like a stream. Millennials' money, it lands like a hammer. Fewer hits, but unforgettable ones. So, who spends more? Technically, Gen Z spends more freely, but millennials spend more impactfully. Both generations are reshaping India's travel culture. Gen Z drives novelty and spontaneity, while millennials shape the market with value, culture, once in a lifetime memories. One lives for the moment, the other lives for the memory. And no matter who's spending more, the big takeaway is this: travel in 2025 isn't just about destinations, it's about identity, values, and how you want your story told. So, which one are you, a millennial memory maker or a Gen Z thrill chaser? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow The Edge.